All right, ladies. So today we're going to be talking about 7 root causes why men pull away. You see, this video is more about teaching you guys the tactics that helps you retain the guys as opposed to tactics to help you get the guy. Now, paradoxically, mastering the tactics to keep the guys that you like will inevitably help you get better guys, because focusing on keeping the guys will force you to go inside yourself and to see the causes of why relationships keep failing. All right. Now, these root causes come in the form of behavior and outcomes. Like, for example, if you're noticing that guys keep pulling away from you, if you're noticing that you're always feeling a certain emotions, if you know how to look out for them, certain mentalities, certain habits are the root causes and we just don't notice. So today I'm going to show you how to identify and how to tackle them and how to make sure that doesn't happen in your life. All right. So let's get started. So I'm not just going to be making you guys feel like shit without giving you a solution. That's fucked up, right? So the first one is this. Frustration. There are two sources of frustration. These are things that when people get into relationships and guys keep pulling away, women get frustrated. The more guys keep pulling away, the more frustrated they get. You see, frustration comes from 3 reasons. There are 3 reasons why people get frustrated. 1, from parents. You see, we've been taught to become frustrated because we learned it from our parents. The way our parents got through things is through being frustrated. That's all we saw from our parents is frustration. The second one is this: the feeling of frustrations comes from infants. We associate getting attention by expressing frustration. You see, this works as children, but not as adults. When you're a baby and you're hungry, you cry in frustration, and suddenly a magic hand comes out of nowhere and gives you food. You see, I'm getting these causes from the book Psycho-Cybernetics. Check that out, all right? So you're really gonna find out there. So that's the first thing as children, all right? So that means when you get frustrated as an adult, it's actually an emotion that you felt as a child that you haven't grown out of, all right? Not grown out of, but you're still habitually in that mental pattern, all right? Failure is defined as an emotional feeling which develops when a goal of importance cannot be realized or some strong desire is thwarted. Chronic frustration means that either the goal the goal you set is realistic or is unrealistic, or both. You see, so what I'm saying is that a lot of frustration with relationships come from having unrealistic expectations in terms of the time that we live in. Like, expectations for relationship changed, and if you're still in that old school way of relationships, you're gonna struggle. Expectation in terms of what you demand from the guy, expectations from yourself. You see, when you can't meet the expectations, you feel frustrated. All right, and the danger is that you begin to get used to feeling frustration and project it into the future and expect them to fail. You see what I'm saying? So you keep getting frustrated. It's kind of like an addict. If you're an addict and you keep going back to the drug back, you get frustrated. So you're gonna say to yourself, "I'm never gonna stop this." It's gonna become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see, and that's because you may be setting extremely high expectations, or you may not have the support. Now, the problem is that you begin to see yourself as a frustrated person, and also hand in hand, this frustration is linked to what? Relationships. So you're going to be expecting the struggle. It's kind of like getting hit by someone as soon as you say hello to them. If you keep getting hit as soon as you keep saying hello to them, you're going to expect a reaction like, hello, oh shit, like you're gonna like train yourself like he's gonna hit me again, right? So you're gonna experience frustration at the mere thought of a relationship. You're gonna attribute certain roles in relationships. In other words, you're gonna think of a relationship, you're gonna think of getting used. You're gonna think of a relationship, you're gonna think of as the one who needs. You see what I'm saying? And those emotions come from the past, your interpretation, but also it hinders a future relationship because you're expecting negative things. As a result, you're going to be projecting those beliefs. You're gonna be seeing those things that cause you to be frustrated, even though they're not there. So you push away the good partners, even though they're not bad. You see, and the problem is that the imagination is the soil, the feeling is the light, and that's where ideas and thoughts grow out of. You see, so the imagination, your thoughts, your imagination, where you see your imagination is where the soil is. The feelings that you feel, the frustration, is the light. You see, and so whenever you put any thoughts or intention under the light of frustration, the emotion of frustration, it pretty much comes out bad. You see what I'm saying? So frustration is one of the reasons why you keep having bad relationships, all right? Because you keep bringing the past into your current situation and keep accumulating it more and more and more. And the older you get, the more frustrated you get, all right? Number 2, aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is misdirected or excessive frustration. You see, so when you get frustrated, the more you frustrated you get, the more aggressive you're gonna get. It's more redirected, right? So the failure type personality, which in Psycho-Cybernetics talks about, but we're going to be using it here as a type of personality that keeps failing in relationships and causing men to pull away. So that's what I'm going to be referring to whenever I talk about the failure type personality. Does not direct aggression towards a goal, all right? But directs it towards people, violence, victim blaming, complaining, and self-defeat. You see, rather than using the frustration to tackle the goal more, to focus more. And so, because in order for you to do that, you got to actually look for within and actually blame yourself, not from a place of as a victim, but as a place of taking responsibility. You see, you don't do that. So as a result, the aggressiveness, you externalize it onto the world, all right? So it's a form of learned helplessness, and when you can't achieve something, you see, so you get angry at the world, you get angry at customers, you get angry at your boss, you get angry at everybody else. You see, so you're frustrated, you can't achieve stuff, so now suddenly you get angry at people. You know you're getting older and you can't get the guys you can't get, so now when you're dating a guy, you're frustrated. You see, you're bottling up that frustration, that aggression is felt, all right? But for the most part, the reason why you're feeling this aggression is because, again, you have unrealistic goals. You see, you're trying too hard for a goal that's unachievable. You see what I'm saying? And so that's difficult to understand, but there are some limits in the things you can achieve. And if you notice you keep getting frustrated, then you got to find out what's really happening. All right? So notice the type of responses aggression creates so that you can notice it when it arises. If you're going to snap at someone who asks you questions, all right, ask yourself, is this me redirecting my frustration? You see, and if that's the case, relax and give it and just notice the emotion. You see, so when you're getting frustrated with life, frustrated with relationships, all right, and you're noticing that you're just getting pissed off because the guy's not committing, ask yourself, is this because of my frustration with my dating life? Or am I just angry at him? You're gonna notice that in reality, it's just a frustration with yourself. This is all self-created. You see, you're creating an identity from your past. You're saying, oh, my past sucked, and now you bring it into the future and you're externalizing it. Oh, I hate you. Fuck you, man. Oh, man, an asshole. You're externalizing it, you see? So that aggression causes guys to pull away even more, you see? So what you gotta do then is relax in the midst of chaos. Relax in the midst of the aggression, of the passion. This will give you and develop presence of mind, all right? Because this automatic response is there to actually help you achieve your goal. You see, this aggression is actually there to help you achieve your goal, but you're redirecting it in the wrong place. You're directing it towards the wrong source, the people, the external world, all right? So it won't work. So all we have to do is have this aggression inside of us and learn how to release it the right way. For example, when I got dumped, what I did, I directed my aggression towards learning how to pick up women, working out a lot more, even though you guys can't tell, right? Or I also redirected my attention as the more mature I grew into myself. I became more mindful. You see, I became more present. All right. So you gotta learn how to release your aggression in many different ways. The way to do it is actually meditation, daily meditation on the emotion. All right. Sports, playing basketball. I play a lot of basketball, especially when I'm frustrated. Having compassion for yourself and others, genuinely seeing them, taking a moment and seeing the human being, the person you're feeling frustrated, and feeling compassion, not just for them, but also for your body and yourself. All right. Writing down your physical sensations. As you feel frustrated, write down the physical sensations of the frustration. I feel like this. I feel anger in the midst of my stomach. I feel like a bubble bubbling up. My shoulders feel tense. I hear thoughts arising from the emotion. I hear this. I hear that. The emotion feels like this. The circumference of the emotion is this. The intensity is this. The color of the emotion is this. Like you literally make a physical sensation out of it, and you break it down physically. You see, and so what's gonna happen is that you're gonna notice the emotion is gonna subside, and the aggression is gonna leave. But the point is that you can externalize it to other people. See, to other people, to attributing it as an identity. No, you gotta learn how to release it the right way, in a healthy way. All right. Number 3, insecurity. All right. So that's another reason why guys keep pulling away. Insecurity comes from measuring yourself with the wrong stick, like Maxwell says. We measure ourselves to an ideal self that's not perfect and realistic. The ideal self that we keep measuring ourselves with is the ideal self that people keep telling us to be. You know, be this, be that, because they want us to fulfill a personal satisfaction. I want you to be the best basketball player in the world because I wanted to be a basketball player when I was a kid, and so I can't do it. So now you got to do it. And now he plays a better he's a better basketball player. Good. See, that's my son. That's my son. He sucks as a basketball player. Oh fuck, god damn it. Yeah, he's my son, but you know he's gonna keep practicing. Like you feel a high and a low according to other people's reaction to you. And so now the child, as a result, is going to measure himself to that. You see, so the insecurity comes from not measuring up, comes from having a measuring stick that's bigger than what it really should be. You see, so it's saying I should be this, I should be that, I should be married by this time, I should be married by that time. All of those things are things that you hear from other people. They don't really come from yourself. It's having unrealistic expectation. And mind you, happiness is a function of expectation. You see? And so when you keep adopting these unrealistic expectations, you're going to inevitably fail. You're going to inevitably make guys pull away from you. All right? So you are good right now. You see, the life that you have, you are good right now. You see, stop comparing yourself to other people. That's all superficial. Like any way that you try to feel better and you're trying to enhance your self-esteem through the use of comparisons and differences is all superficial. Like, go ahead, try it. Try to be better. Even if you're better, one day you're going to suck, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel bad again. Like, and so that insecurity is going to really fuck you up in relationships. I mean, it's going to fuck you up big time because you're going to start seeing things that are not there. You're going to start saying that he's the cheater when he's really not. You're going to start finding ways, you see, to seek more validation than you need. So you're going to need him to do more to show him how much he loves you. You're going to demand from him more. So as a result, the guy's going to be like, you know what, this girl's crazy. If you go to Mind for Attraction, I wrote this to pick up new girls because I'm a dating coach for guys. You see, feeling and looking better than somebody won't make you happy. The perception of you won't change the truth. In reality, you're just nothing. We're all nothing in reality, to be perfectly honest with you. You see, we all just in our own little echo chamber of humanity. Like everyone in this world knows we exist. Nobody else does. And in reality, that's like the big part, like the universe, right? That's like the fucking big part. Like we're so fucking minuscule, right? And we make such a big deal out of ourselves. We're worthless. Worthless. If there was no other human but me, to other animals, I'm worthless. Actually, to other animals, I'm a good meal. I'm a hot, sexy meal. Oh man, I know animals want to eat me. No, hell no. Number 4. Yeah, that's number 4, right? Loneliness, mental and spiritual loneliness. All right. So I'm trying to actually get through this. So spiritual loneliness is when you fragment yourself from reality. All right. For example, it's seeing the world as an outside world, seeing the world as a separate entity. You feel alone. The more people hurt you, the more alienated you feel. You see, the more you try to feel better than somebody else, you're trying to separate yourself. You see what I'm saying? The better you try to feel, like the better, stronger you feel from yourself, from anybody else, right? The more you superficially try to feel better, the more you superficially try to poke yourself out of the population and try to look better and put yourself in a high heel, on a high horse, the more alone you're going to be. You see, it's the attempt to be better, the attempt to make the moment better, the attempt to enhance the moment is a source of loneliness. Because what tends to happen is that because when you put yourself out there as a separate entity from existence, as a person that is in this world and is trying to survive, you're going to see the world as a threat because you're not going to see yourself as a part of a whole. You see? And so you're going to try to find yourself in things that are not really part of you. You're going to try to get cars, get a new guy, and everything. But in reality, you're missing the point. You're missing that all of these things happen in one moment. They're happening in the now, in the present moment. You see, the loneliness you feel is the illusion of separation between life, between form and consciousness. Like when you realize that what you're seeing in this world is really going on inside of you, what you're seeing is a projection of your own consciousness. You see, kind of like a computer, like, right? You see a computer, right? Let me see if I have my phone. Goddamn, I don't have it here. Okay, look, show you this, right? You see this, right? You see this, right? You see this, right? You see this? Let's just say this is the world, right? This is the world, right? this doesn't, this is you, this is consciousness, right? And this is the world. Oops. You see? So in reality, you might think that this is something, but in reality, all of these, even though it looks different, they're made out of the same thing. They're made out of the pixels that's made out of the phone. So you might be thinking you're looking through the phone into another reality, but in reality, you're just looking at the same thing. Like, this is the same thing as looking at this. You see? So the world you see is inside of you. The world you see is a reflection of consciousness. The world that's created cannot be here without consciousness. It's kind of like the pixels of a screen. Everything is you. When you realize the unity in the universe, like knowing that everything is you, you might be hearing the sound, but in reality, it's all happening inside of you. You tend to feel connected to the world. Suddenly you see somebody, you don't see them as an individual, you see them as yourself. And then loneliness naturally leaves from there. And so what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing things as threats. You're not going to feel fear. You're not going to feel fear of being alone, fear of not being part of the whole. You see, so that's spiritual loneliness, all right? Loneliness comes from a disconnect also from yourself. You have replaced yourself with an image. You thrive off of this image through validation. It feels more alive. The less validation you get, the more opaque this image gets, and the more it reveals your true self, which is you're running away from. The image that you're putting in front, you're trying to use it to hide your true self. You see? All right, and the less validation you get, the more transparent that's gonna get. So the more transparent it gets, the more pain you feel. So now you look for more validation, and you try to hide from it. You see? So now something happens, you don't get the validation, you want more of it. But now to get this, it requires more effort, and more and more and more and more and more. You see, and that becomes part of your whole brain structure to look for validation. You may not even notice yourself looking for validation. You see? It's kind of like, unfortunately, when somebody dies, unfortunately, right? You get so used to calling them or saying hi to them that when you notice them they're not there, you notice how much of a habit it was for you to look for them, to expect their call. All right? So what tends to happen is that you tend to do more to maintain the image because it requires more effort. All right? So that loneliness causes you to need people, need a guy to keep you, make you happy. All right. It also means you disconnect from reality, the true nature of existence as a result of our ego, like the part of you that tries to exalt itself from everyone else. Even though you know you're better than everybody else, you still feel alone. You see, feeling good is not about feeling better than anybody else. It's realizing the true reality of existence, which is that you're not better or worse than anybody else, even other animals and whatnot. Uncertainty. So what? Okay, actual loneliness. All right, loneliness also comes from actual loneliness. Developers. So this is how you're able to overcome loneliness. All right, because I'm not just gonna give you suck. You can't feel lonely without giving you a solution. Right? I'm not that fucked up. Right? So how do you do it? So develop skills that are social, like playing basketball. Chess, reading, going to book clubs. You got to get around people too, all right? So I'm not saying that. I'm saying first learn how to face your loneliness, all right? And then make your other priority to actually meet people, all right? Because when a guy knows that you have other options, when you have friends, it's more attractive because he's like, all right, I don't have to cater to this woman. She has her own life. And it also makes a guy say, damn, I want to possess her. I don't want her to have such a good life without me, right? Get used to it so that you can get used to the fear. So get used to the fear of getting to know people, all right? So you are going to feel afraid, but get used to that fear. Get used to that anxiety. Like, for example, approaching women. It was very difficult for me to approach women. You get very scared when you approach women the first time. But if I said to myself, all right, I don't want to just meet girls who are my friends or online dating. Why not just go online dating in real life? All right. And so it was very uncomfortable for me to actually approach women. But the more I did it, the more I faced that fear, the more comfortable I got. You see, so you get uninhibited the more you face your fear. So if it's a problem that you're afraid to be around people, you got to be around them. Right? You got to be around them. And so you got to get out of yourself because loneliness, I'm telling you, is unattractive. I'm telling you. Like, if you're lonely and you allow that to consume you, you create an identity, you're going to be a very difficult person to be around with. Number 5, uncertainty. All right. Uncertainty is a way of avoiding mistakes. You see, when you're uncertain, that means you don't want to make a decision because you're afraid of making mistakes. Fear causes uncertainty, and it's the fear of losing oneself, life taking action, or not knowing what to study. You see, but knowing that was horrible. All right. So it's the fear of losing out, the fear of losing your sense of self that causes people to be uncertain. You see, you don't want to go to college. For example, it's like going to it's like going to college, right? You get the option of going to college, and so when you're in college, you don't know what to pick. The reason why you don't know what to pick is because you really do know what to pick, but you are afraid of actually doing what you want to do, which is not go to college, which is actually go to a whole nother career. You see, that uncertainty comes because you are afraid, so you want to abide in this one little hole, college, right? And because if you pick the option that you really want to pick, this will cause you to get out of your comfort zone, stop getting the support, the social validation, the financial validation, and go into an area of unknown. You see, and that's what causes fear. Fear causes you to limit yourself, limit your option, and it makes you even more uncertain. You see, so you have to learn how to make mistakes and not fear the people's reactions, because that's where the fear of loss comes from. You see, you want to maintain the image that people have of yourself. You want want your parents to look at you as a perfect child, and so you don't want that image to be tarnished. You see, if you feel that, like you're afraid to make them feel bad, or you're afraid to change the image that they have of you, that means you're living in that means you're actually very uncertain, because it's very difficult to know what you want when somebody else is pressuring you to do something, especially if you have a weak sense of self. So you're not really going to know what to do, because the path of actually knowing what you want requires you to actually fuck up a lot. And if you got people on you every fucking time, right? Every second of the day, if you have people every second of the day on your ass, then it's going to be difficult for you to make the decision, because in order to know, you got to not know a little bit. Got to go through a lot of failures. So it really relates to meeting men, right? And so the uncertainty of not knowing what to do comes because you may have a biological clock. It comes because you don't know what to do, because you don't want to lose the guy. But in reality, it's just in reality, you just need it. You don't want to lose the guy because you don't know that if you're going to meet another guy. Like all of those uncertainties of making that move, you don't know what to do, comes out of fear. You see? Realize that the more you fail and learn from it, the wiser you are. It's one thing hearing about someone overcoming a loss. It's another thing experiencing it. There's a difference between Google Maps, like Google walkthrough, and actually walking through the streets. You see, so in reality, you gotta fail. And if you still haven't pissed people off in your life, you gotta piss them off, because humans undoubtedly will piss people off. You see, you got to be okay with people, with making people angry. Oh, my neighbor's looking at me. Damn, shit, it just gave me a mean look. Oh shit, okay, oh boy, a little standoff later on. All right, so number 6, resentment. This is a big one. I fucking hate resentment. The failure type personality, in this term, the type of woman that keeps making guys pull away. All right, mind you, these are core things that arise that cause the behavior that are unattractive. So keep that in mind. The failure type personality sees other people's success as a threat. They resent more because it shows them that life is short-changed. They resent more because it shows to them that life has shortchanged them, like resenting beautiful women. You see, like when you know how women resent beautiful women. You resent them because they're beautiful, stuff like that, right? Resentment. Yeah, this is from Maxwell Maltz. It says resentment is the cure. Resentment is the cure that is worse than the pain. You see, when you resent people, even though you're doing it because you feel like you were the victim, it's actually a more destructive disease than it is a cure. You see, people who carry resentment are horrible people to be around with. Resentment carries around an energy that causes people to blame everyone but themselves, because they do reality. Because it causes people to holy shit, I'm fucking up today. To blame everyone but themselves, because if they do, reality says that they are a failure. You see, so they don't want to really face reality. You see, they want to externalize it. All right. So resentment leads by self-pity, which causes a self-image of failure. You begin to feel good as a victim. So as long as you harbor resentment, it becomes impossible for you to become responsible for your own actions and success. This is because victims of this type of mentality give their power to other people and are solely dependent on them. See, as a result, you will never be happy in relationships. When you get angry, you're gonna blame the guy. When you feel nervous, you're gonna blame the guy. Because you never took responsibility of how you felt. You see? And so that's what happens. You see? So you carry resentment with the whole world. Anything that bad that happens, you're blaming someone. You're not blaming yourself. You're going to blame somebody else. You see? So, all right. So number 7, the last one, passionless. All right? Passionless. The goal of not knowing your passion becomes a goal. All right? So passionless is literally not having a fucking life. You see, it's not having a purpose. It's leashing off for other people's purpose. It's not wanting what you really like, what you really want, and doing things in an empty way. You go about life, but without any purpose. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like working at a job you hate, being in a marriage you hate. You're not really there. It's more like a shadow self, an empty hollow in a suit of meat, and there's nothing inside there. You're somewhere else. You see? So when you're passionate, you're not really there. You're not really in the moment. When you do things half-assed. That's because you're resentful for the world. And not having the passion makes guys not actually want to be around you. You're like, eh. I'm not saying not having energy. I'm talking about passion, having a purpose. Having a purpose in life. And even if you don't know your purpose, make knowing your purpose in life a passion. Because not having a passion means you just stopped. I mean, think about that. I mean, it's, okay, I'm not saying, like, do you mean like having kids is not having passion? No, that could be your passion. But the point of it is that you actually have a purpose in life. And you can feel that with people. Because people who don't have a purpose in life are always morphing to other people's purposes. They have no boundaries. You know, they go with the wind. They don't lead. They are led. And I'm not saying that guys don't like women who don't lead, but guys do like women who are going towards something. You know, and that makes it attractive. All right. I hope this makes sense. Because there was a lot of notes. I hope this makes sense. Anyways, this is Alex. If you need coaching for one-on-one coaching, you could just message me at mindfulattraction.org. And I hope you guys have a good day and enjoy it. I mean, this video, to be honest with you, like I made the notes today, and that was it was from the book Psycho-Cybernetics. And I was like, you know what, this is actually a good topic, but it's throughout the video, you kind of felt that I'm like, oh fuck, like how do I translate it to dating and whatnot? Because like what I like to do is I like to read books, right? And I'm always unconsciously asking myself, how does this apply to dating? How does this apply to dating? And so that's how you're able to get like different ideas from different subjects. It's actually kind of interesting. But I feel like, I hope this one is good today, right? Not too happy with this one, but let's see how this turns out. I like tons of videos that I don't like, other videos that people like the most. Isn't that crazy? All right, that's it talking. Bye-bye.